The Toronto Blue Jays have signed relief pitcher Jay Jackson to a minor league deal. Looks like they're sticking with their velocity agenda in free agency, and it's nice to see. And has Jordan Romano been disrespected by being left out of the top 10 relievers in baseball? We'll have that and much more on this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. Got a lot to get into today. We want to thank you all for the support that we've gotten in the new year so far. We'll be going live a lot more as the weeks roll along, and we cannot wait for some baseball to start in February.
Yeah, super exciting. Lots of news is going down. And before we get into the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you like the Daily Jays content. We're close to 6K subscribers. But yeah, thank you guys for all your support. And let's get right into the first topic of the video, which is the Blue Jays sign a veteran pitcher. Now, veteran in the sense of he's a bit of an older, he's 35 years old, and I'll pop up the screenshot now. He's Jay Jackson, like you alluded to in the intro. Right-handed pitcher Jay Jackson signs a minor league deal with the Blue Jays, invite to MLB spring camp. And supporters basically just said that he's going to try to break the bullpen this year in the majors, which makes sense because he's 35 years old, so he's not really going to be a project. So another screenshot here. Wasn't familiar, but I like him already from Views in the Six. So before we get into some stats, and I have some a video actually of a couple of his pitches. What are your thoughts on the signing from what you've read so far, if you knew about him beforehand?
Yeah, he's a veteran guy, as opposed to the other guys that throw hard that the Jays went out and got, like Julian Fernandez, Junior Fernandez. Jay Jackson has been around and he's pitched quite. I wouldn't say a lot in the majors, but he's had a bit of experience. He's had different stints in 2015, 2019, 2021,
Yep.
and 2022, and he's surpassed 30 innings in one season. So I don't know how big of a role he'll play, even if he does make the team. But I know that he throws hard, and it'll be interesting to see with all this new depth in the bullpen how it all plays out in spring training.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, he's older, so either he's, minor league arm, whether or major league arm. It's kind of it's nice to have a veteran there either way. So these are his stats, and you mentioned it a little bit. Obviously, in 2015, he didn't get much run, but in 2019, 28 games, 4.45 ERA, not great. But in 2021, he had a pretty good year. 23 games, 3.74 ERA, 21 innings pitched. Obviously, not a huge sample size, but and then last year, 2 games, he pitched an inning and a bit, didn't give up a run. So the past couple years, I guess since he's been healthy or whatever, he's pitched pretty solid, and that's why some people are excited about him. And I have a couple more screenshots and then a quick video. This is his baseball savant. He averages 95 in the fastball, but can get up to higher. His changeup is 90 miles an hour, and he has a nice slider as well. 76 percentile fastball velocity, so he does throw hard. And this was in 2021. That's the year that he did pretty well. And then I'll show you guys some clips now of just a short clip of his pitches here, and you can see it a little bit. It's a pretty nice
Good
slider.
slider.
Yeah, really nice slider. That kind of showed a slider twice. I'll pop it up one more time for you. But the slider has a lot of movement. Obviously, he has a fastball that goes 95, 96. I think he can touch 97 miles an hour. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see because we have a lot of relievers to see if he breaks
Yeah.
camp. But because of his age, you'd think that he has a decent chance because he obviously doesn't have any options, I don't believe.
And one thing that does stick out to me, obviously not as much experience in him as maybe some other arms out there on the market, but in 2021, he was with San Francisco, and that was the year where they made that pretty good run in the playoffs. They won over 100 games. They were the best team in the NL West, and he was a valuable contributor on that team in 21 innings, 28 strikeouts. So there's some strikeout potential in that arm. Like you said, slider is good. It looks good. The peripherals look fine. He throws hard as well. So, like I said, it remains to be seen how he does in spring training. If he does well at all, then maybe he does have a chance to crack the big league roster.
Yeah, it's a low risk
And he'll
signing.
want to, and he'll want to as well. Like you said, he's older. I don't think he's looking to pitch in the minor leagues for much longer.
No, and I'm assuming when they signed him, there was some sort of agreement that if he pitches well, he'll get a chance in the majors, even if it's for a fifth inning. Maybe a David Phelps type role. If we don't bring him back, it would could make some sense. And I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully I'm excited to see spring training. I'm excited to see all these guys in spring training. So we have a bunch
Me
of
too.
players like that and that are in the minors that are on the come up. And it'll be interesting to see how he slots in. But they also have, people like Yasver Zueleta who can make a push this year, and Tiedemann and people like that. But it'll be interesting. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on Jay Jackson. Obviously, a bit of an under the radar veteran signing, but it's still a pretty interesting one nonetheless. And it's not like a veteran who hasn't pitched in the majors. He's pitched in the majors and has had some success. So it'll be interesting. Let's move on to the second topic now, which is Romano disrespected. Twitter is going a bit crazy. I was a bit surprised, and Peter, I'll get your thoughts. I'll pop up the top 10 list here first. So these are MLB Network's top relievers right now. Edwin Diaz 1, Clase 2, Williams 3, Evan Phillips 4, Duran, Presley, Munoz, Hendricks, Jason Adam, Ryan, Hesley. What are your thoughts on the list and Jordan Romano getting, left out, and maybe who would you replace Jordan Romano with on this list to get him in there? Because a lot of people on Twitter were saying that he definitely needs to be in there, and I think I'd agree. And a Blue Jay also tweeted out letting know his thoughts. But I'll just get your thoughts on the list as a whole, and if anyone you'd replace.
Well, first off, all the best to Liam Hendricks, who's in that top 10, but I don't think he'll pitch much in 2023. And that's not to say he's not a top 10 reliever when he's healthy, when he's going right, but I don't think he should be on that list just because he won't be pitching in 2023, at least the way things are right now. So maybe I'd move everyone up a slot and slot in Romano at 10, but I don't hate that list. I think there are better relievers out there. Ryan Helsley is 10th. I even think Ryan Presley is a little bit too low. The guy just won a World Series, and he carried that Houston bullpen throughout the playoffs. So I think he should be a little bit higher. Devin Williams, one of the best changeups in the league. Emmanuel Clase throws 103. So those guys all have something very distinct about them. I don't know if Romano does. He throws 98, 99. He'll maybe touch 100, but he doesn't have that wipe out pitch, that put away pitch that all those other guys have. So I don't hate the list, but he could be borderline top 10. He's definitely borderline top 10, and that's not a bad thing either. He's one of the better relievers in all of baseball.
That was the argument on Twitter. Is the whole he obviously has a great fastball and a great slider, but he doesn't have the one dominant pitch. And some people were saying on Twitter that basically if you bring in Class A, Williams, all those guys, you basically know you're getting shutdown innings. And people were making the argument against Romano that he gives up a lot of base runners and stuff like that. But the argument that before I get into my little argument, we'll go here. This is from Views in the Six. We don't talk about come up story. From being claimed in the 2018 Rule Draft, posting a 5.73 ERA since 2010, 140 games, 11.4 Ks per nine, 61 saves, and a 6.2 BWAR. So that's obviously great. And we also had Anthony Bass. How is Romano not on the top 10 list? And the thing is that this list is very, it's a very great, group of players. And like you said, all the best Liam Hendricks as well. And it says right now. So if you're going off last year, Hendricks, you probably put him ahead of Romano. The only person here that I might not is Jason Adam. Obviously, he had a great year last year, but I don't know. Jordan Romano has been great for 3 straight years, like elite for 3 straight years. Jason Adam had obviously a great year last year, but before that, he wasn't really elite. So I guess it kind of depends on what you consider there. But I could easily
That's
see
fair.
putting Romano instead of Jason Adam. The other guys, it's pretty tough because they're just dominant. Plus, Jason Adam is kind of similar to Romano in the sense of not a huge dominant pitch, whereas Romano and Clase and those guys obviously have their great fastballs and stuff. So that would be the only person I think. You could also make an argument for Hendricks. Anyone else there? Maybe Munoz, but Munoz is pretty dominant. But I don't know. It's kind of tough
Oh,
to. He's
Munoz
great. I
is
know it's pretty tough
gross.
to replace people like this. So let us know in the comments who you would replace with. Obviously, Romano. The main thing for him is he's been very consistent the past 3 years. Man, been dominant the past 3 years. And I don't know. It'll be very, very interesting. Do you have any final thoughts on that before we move on?
I just think it shows the overall depth in the game today, not just at the reliever position, but every position. Every team, every fan base feels like their players are getting disrespected, and I think that's a good thing because it just shows you how many great players there are in the game today, and viewership was at an all-time high last year for Major League Baseball as a whole. So the game's moving in the right direction. I'm so fired up to watch all these great players go at it, and if the Jays, like I said, I don't have a problem with the Jays being disrespected before the season starts. I want them to earn it,
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. And again, shout out to or all the best to Liam Hendricks, and hopefully he'll be able to play this season because when he's healthy, he definitely deserves to be on the list of top 10. And he is here. He's a dominant reliever, and hopefully, maybe if he's healthy, the Jays can make a trade for him. But we'll move on to the final topic of the video, which is a free agency update. And there's actually more than usual in this section. We usually include this section for one or two moves, but we have a few to show you today, and one that we didn't have a screenshot for. So this is the first thing, Peter. You told me about this morning before I got to my computer. So Andrew McCutcheon's returning to the Pirates, 1-year deal pending physical. I'm a bit upset about this, but you have to love the story here. He's returning to the Pirates. It's going to be great baseball to watch. Obviously, the Pirates aren't really contenders, so clearly that wasn't super important to McCutcheon. Maybe he's just going to go on one last ride in Pittsburgh and, I don't know, retire there.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's a bit of a storybook ending if he does want to call it a career. Hope they don't flip him at the deadline. That would suck for Andrew McCutcheon, but all signs are pointing towards him just retiring as a Pirate, where it all started. One of the greats in the game, and I'm excited to see that young team with the now veteran Andrew McCutcheon, no longer in his prime, winning MVPs. So good for him. Had a great career. Would have liked to see him to have seen him on the Blue
Yeah.
Jays or on any other contending team for that matter, but it's all right. You know, it's a good way to go out. If he's not gonna go to the Jays, I think this is the next best thing.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, out of all the teams he could have went to, I'm happy it was them instead of the Yankees because I feel like him to the Yankees would have made some sense as well, but it would have hurt. So we'll move on to the next one here, which is per source, Blue Jays and Danny Jansen avoided arbitration with a $3.5 million deal for 2023. This is great for the Blue Jays. It's great for Danny Jansen. He deserves it. We avoid arbitration, which is key because today is arbitration day, so tons of moves are dropping down. We obviously couldn't include all of them. Do you have any quick thoughts on that? And as well, I guess we'll throw in Espinal, who also avoided arbitration.
Yeah. Yeah, so Danny Jansen 3.5 million, Santiago Espinal 2.1 million. And I like this. I always hate when players go to arbitration because it creates like a bit of a strain in the relationship between the front office and the players themselves because it's basically the front office saying, "Yeah, you know, we want you, but we don't want to pay you this much for this reason, for that reason, for XYZ reason." And it just that stays in the back of your mind as a player. You know, you show up to spring training and then you think about, man, they don't even value me. You know, they don't value me the same way I value myself. So I'm glad that they didn't have to go to arbitration for those two guys. Hopefully, they can avoid arbitration in years to come because it's just it's a terrible process altogether, and I don't like it as a fan.
Yeah, I'm happy with the moves overall. Obviously, had Bo Bichette and Manoa go to arbitration a few years ago. I think a bit of a different situation with Manoa and stuff, but either
And
way,
one thing to
yep.
clear up for you guys, it's not an extension,
Yeah, no, not an
so
extension.
it's just something that they play out their remaining years of control. That's what it's for. It's not them signing Danny Jansen for an extra year or Espinal for an extra year. Just wanted to clarify if that wasn't clear for all of you.
Yeah, so the years are the same. We don't keep Jansen for any more than his contract or Espinal. We're just paying him more instead of going to arbitration and going for all that stuff. But it'll be very interesting to see. I'm excited that Danny Jansen's him and Kirk seem to be our tandem of the future, at least for the next few years. So it's good to see the relationship is looking good there. Espinal, who knows how long he'll be a Blue Jay? Maybe he's at a trades piece. Maybe he's gonna have a great bounce back here. But either way, it's gonna be interesting to see, and we're super excited to watch it. And quick shout out to all the members who have subscribed to the channel. We're up to like 8 or 9 now. I'm going to be including you in the base bar soon. I'm working on that, but thank you all for the support. It's been unbelievable. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks.